everyone and welcome. My name is Soreti Kadir, bringing you news from Oromia, Ethiopia, the Horn region and the world here on the Oromia Media Network. Government forces have begun to attack people who are approaching government institutions for fertilizer. The fertilizer crisis in Ethiopia is escalating. Sources have told OMN that government forces attacked people queuing for fertilizer in the RC areas of Digalui, Tijo, Bura Jalle and Waji Gusha. In the southern nations, in Hadia, people who went to receive fertilizer but were denied went to tell their grievances to the local government authorities. Government forces shot live ammunition at the farmers and some were injured. In the southern Shawa area of Ilu, one person was killed by government forces under similar conditions. Because of the government's inability to provide the subsidized fertilizer on time, compounded by the corruption amongst the government that is seeing fertilizer meant for the masses being stolen, farmers are having to resort to either planting seeds without fertilizer or not planting anything at all for this season. Oromo Liberation Front spokesperson Bate Urgesa has spoken about the human rights violations that members of the OLF have been facing in prison over the last 3 years. Bate Urgesa said that there are many Oromos that are having their rights violated in prison, but what makes the case of the OLF detainees different is that these political prisoners, having been tried in a court of law and that court of law ordering their release, and yet these political prisoners being returned to prison where they are being tortured and abused is unheard of in any country. Urgesa describes that the human rights abuses faced by the OLF members ranges from being denied family visits, food, proper health care, being held for illegal periods of time in police stations without trial, and more. Urgesa also made a parallel between the treatment of Oromo political prisoners and that of the TPLF, saying that in the case of the TPLF, they fought the government with rockets and tanks and were able to be released from prison, and yet these OLF members have not broken any law and are suffering under the aforementioned conditions. Oromo employees of Ethio Telecom have told OMN that they are preparing to launch a social media campaign against the company's discriminatory practices and culture. The campaign is set to run across Twitter, TikTok, Facebook and Instagram, targeting a broad audience along with targeted messaging that will spread across Ethio Telecom's accounts and posts across these platforms. Previously, new employment opportunities would be shared to the company through internal channels, though this has stopped and managers who are primarily of the Amhara ethnic group are instead handing positions to people of the Amhara ethnicity behind closed doors. This coordinated social media campaign will be participated in by Oromo employees of the company across the country and is hoping to address the aforementioned conditions and the overall racist organizational culture within Ethio Telecom. Oromo asylum seekers are facing gross human rights violations in Saudi Arabia. Oromo people who have fled Ethiopia because of the compounding political and economic crisis in the country have been treated in ways unfit for human beings and that are in serious violation of international laws protecting the rights of refugees. The group of asylum seekers have reportedly been subjected to different torture mechanisms whilst being held in prison. The government of Saudi Arabia, that is being led by King Mohammed bin Salman, has been told many times by different human rights protection institutions, including Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch and the UNHCR, to refrain from violating the rights of asylum seekers, though these warnings have had no effects. According to an analysis provided by Addis Standard, Ethiopia's public debt crisis is becoming increasingly worrisome. According to the report, the latest debt bulletin published by the Ministry of Finance last week reveals a concerning 6% surge in public debt since June 2022, resulting in 60.6 billion by the end of March 2023. 53.3% of the country's debt is local, whilst 46.5% of debt is external. Both local currency and USD debt has been increasing. That's all in news for today. Thank you for watching. My name is Soretti Kadir, bringing you news from Oromia, Ethiopia, the Horn region and the world here on the Oromia Media Network.
imal dheeraa waggoottan sagalee keessa dhuga Oromoo karaa dhugaatiin immoo fi yaalii gargara godhaa turree amma lakkuma kan godhu irratti argamna. Kanaaf humna namaatiif teknooloojiin cimuun bar diijitaalawaa kan keessa dirqam filannoo biraan qabnu waan taateef tumsa hawaasa keenya barbaanna. Haalum kanaan duub koreen deeggarsa OMN Joorjii Atlaantaa tagaygaaf guyyaa 12 bar 2023 marii hawaasa qopheessite jirti. Hayyuun Oromoo Profeesar Mahammad Hasan, Dr. Baayyaana Soobaa, Daareektarri olaanaan OMN Dajanee guutamaatiif qindeessaan koree deeggarsa OMN kadame Atlaantaa aabbamaan tashite baan keessummoot jedhu gaaddisi qora 4156 Laavistar Road Kaarjii A384 biratti argama. Bilbilli yookaan Simoon Kunooti 6786 98 duwwa 998 nuu dha'uu dandeetti. Kun ta'uu dinnaan pilaas 1678 431 43 15 irra yoo nuu cuqaaftan nu argaati.